Hello everybody, so today we're going to be speaking about the pale horse and what the Lord has shown me regarding civil war that is coming to America. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. When I'm speaking about the horses, the Lord's given me the horses as a type and shadow to describe the symbolism of what's about to unfold. It does not necessarily mean that we're in the book of Revelation describing the tribulation. If anything, we're not in the book of Revelations yet, and the horses are not being used to describe the tribulation. I just thought I'd make that clear in case you're new to my channel and you come across this video and you think that we're in the book of Revelations. We're not yet there. So the picture that the Lord gave me to describe the civil war that is coming to America is the pale horse. And the pale horse is a representation of death. And as you know, civil war produces death. And so that's why the Lord has given me that picture of the pale horse. Now, what I would like to share is that I've had 5 dreams of America having civil war. And today I'm just going to be sharing one dream of what the Lord has shown me regarding civil war that's coming to America. So in the dream, I was in a valley, and the valley was very deep, and it had these 2 mountains alongside the valley going up like this. And I turned around to look at the top of the valley, and I saw water gushing down, right? It was coming with such a force, this water, down the valley. And so I began to move quickly to get away from that water, which was sort of coming like an avalanche almost. And then when I looked at the top of the one side of the mountain, I saw water coming down that side of the mountain. So it was coming from 2 areas, from the back and from the top, right? And so the Lord supernaturally exited me from that valley, and then I was standing on top of the earth, and I looked down, right? And as I looked down, I could see suburbs, lots of suburbs, and I was in America, and I saw the people were apes in the suburbs, and they were fighting very violently with each other. They were tearing each other apart. There was no humanity. There was absolutely no control, absolute carnage and chaos. These apes were tearing each other apart, right? And then I woke up. And then when I was asking Abba for the interpretation of the dream, first of all, the water represents liquidity and the market being flooded with liquidity, which is going to cause a crisis. So liquidity moving from one area to another area, flooding the valley. Obviously, those who are not prepared are going to drown because of that liquidity. And the people who are prepared, God is going to supernaturally elevate them out of that valley. But the cause and effect from this liquidity crisis that is coming is going to create issues with people who live in suburbia, middle class people of all walks in America. And so I saw people who looked like apes. They were all apes, right? And they were clashing, right? They were absolutely clashing. And when I asked the Lord, what is the meaning of the apes? Now, I'm not very good with popular culture references because I don't watch a lot of television and I don't watch a lot of things that are non-biblical. So when I was asking the Lord for the interpretation, he reminded me of the AMC movement. Now, again, I don't know much about the AMC movement except for the fact that derogatory terms were used to describe people who were trying to get ahead by using the stock market. So they started calling people apes because they were, I'm not sure if they're shorting the market with AMC, but there was something going on with AMC. If you know what happened with AMC, please put it in the comments section. We can all learn from you. So the point that I'm trying to make is that they call them derogatory names to describe to describe them as people, undermining them as people, calling them apes. Deplorable is another word that they've used. Goyim, which means cattle, is another word that they use. If you're not part of their club, their clique, if you don't know their handshakes, or if you're not initiated into their occult, they consider everybody who is a child of God. And when I say child of God, I'm talking about all humanity, because we're all children of God. They consider people to be apes or cattle. You know, that's how they think of people. And so when I was asking the Lord for the interpretation, he said that they're going to create a situation where people are there's going to be a flashpoint for civil war. And the flashpoint the Lord highlighted to me is the dream I had about Donald Trump, where he is naked from the breastplate, and the interpretation of that is offered, where the Lord speaks about the era of execution. So there's going to be a flashpoint that's going to cause this particular war. And what the Lord is saying is that people are going to be driven by their emotions, getting involved to want to procure justice, to want to seek out justice in the name of patriotism, in the name of the outcome of being frustrated for so long, but also where people's hopes have been dashed because they put their trust in a man or a human being instead of looking to the Father for their particular salvation or their needs to be met. So it's going to cause a lot of emotions to come to the surface, where people will take to the streets and begin to fight each other. So it's not just going to be blue and red, it's also going to be the immigrants that they've imported across the border. And those immigrants will play a part in being a sub-army that will be also used to attack the American people, both red and blue, not just red. So what the Lord is saying to me is that just to warn the American people that the war is orchestrated, it's a planned attack of the enemy, and that one should prayerfully consider if they're getting involved in this particular civil war, because it's not in the name of country or patriotism. It's because the enemy is using it by stealth to kill, steal, and destroy. So prayerfully consider what stance you take, where the enemy will use your emotions also as a way of getting you involved in a struggle and in a battle that will end up really producing more deaths, more of the pale horse, right? Because the pale horse is related to death. And also the meaning of 23. If you go back to that video, I showed you how there's an eclipse coming over America. America is marked by 2 eclipses, right? And there is death that is coming. The meaning of 23 is actually death. Now, if you're Joseph, it means inheritance, and there is good news for the Josephs. But I just wanted to remind everybody that the Lord is warning us that the enemy views God's people as apes. He wants people to fight like apes, right? It was a violent dream. The apes were tearing off the limbs of each other and biting each other. It was terrible. It was animalistic. So I would ask everybody to prayerfully consider how they think of people and what they want people to become. They want to reduce the population, and they will reduce the population with civil war, and they will use people's emotions against them to do that. And so I pray this presentation has blessed you, the sharing of my dream. I ask that every viewer, if you're not from America, to please pray for America, hold America up in prayer, because what the enemy has designed for this great nation is to tear apart instead of build. It's to tear apart instead of build. And all these things are rituals to bring about their new world order. Shabbat.